Speaking of relationships, Alyssa Thomas.
I think a lot of the fans, they wanted to latch on to Caitlin Clark and then use her as fuel to be able to be the way that they wanted to be.
Jonquel Jones just destroyed ALYSSA Thomas for being way too nasty toward Caitlin Clark. In one explosive interview, Jonquel exposed how ALYSSA's behavior went beyond just a rivalry, from calling out Clark's fan base to body-checking her on the court. Jonquel pulled no punches.
They want her to be the representation of their racism and, you know, like their view on the world, and she's not like that.
Accusing ALYSSA of crossing the line into bullying and even racism. And with her finals MVP title backing her words, Jonquel stood up to ALYSSA, challenging her unfounded claims.
Try to find somebody else that can kind of embody the things that they feel. That the WNBA gets it in order and make sure that they have like things in place, because yeah, no one wants to play in a situation like that. I don't think it's fair to the players.
And making it clear that Caitlin Clark is the real star fans should be rooting for. This isn't just about defending a teammate. Jonquel's takedown of ALYSSA is a powerful call for respect, fairness, and integrity in the WNBA. You won't believe how far she went to defend Caitlin and shut down ALYSSA's toxic antics. Let's break down exactly what happened. Jonquel Jones didn't just defend Caitlin Clark, she sent a powerful message to the entire WNBA.
And I think you have to be careful when you say like the Fever fans, because I don't think it's the Fever fans. I think it's the people that wanted Caitlin Clark to be a certain type of way and they thought that she was. And so they became Caitlin Clark fans, assuming that. And then they realized like, oh no, she's actually not racist.
After watching ALYSSA Thomas's season-long targeting of Clark, Jones couldn't stay silent. It all started with ALYSSA's relentless criticism of Caitlin from the start of the season. ALYSSA publicly doubted Clark's abilities.
There is nobody interesting in the WNBA past or present except for Caitlin Clark. They've all shown themselves to be sexist, racist, petty, ridiculous.
Questioning if Caitlin could handle the competition in the WNBA. For Clark, who entered the league with a stellar college career and massive fan support, this was supposed to be a fresh start, but ALYSSA seemed bent on stirring up tension, dismissing Caitlin's achievements even before she got a chance to prove herself.
My advice to Caitlin, kind of keep your mouth shut, because everybody is looking for you to say anything and they're gonna splice it and cut it and make it a negative thing. The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in.
But ALYSSA didn't stop at words. On August 28th, during a game that was supposed to be about athleticism and sportsmanship, ALYSSA body-checked Caitlin with such force that it looked more like hockey than basketball. Fans, players, and even analysts were shocked, but the referees shrugged it off.
Indiana has certainly come a long way. 4th fewest turnovers committed per game in the league.
It was as if ALYSSA's status in the league gave her a free pass to get physical, no questions asked. The clip went viral, with fans and critics alike questioning how something so blatant could go unnoticed by officials.
WNBA, I'm talking players, coaches, and refs. They're all a bunch of Caitlin Clark haters. They're all a bunch of jealous haters.
Yep.
They are just working themselves up about Caitlin Clark just to hate on her. Skylar Diggins is bumping her. Their girls are complaining on the bench. Referees are getting into it now. They're all a bunch of haters.
This wasn't just a tough play, it was a public display of ALYSSA's disdain for Caitlin, wrapped up in an aggressive move meant to send a message. Then came the accusations. ALYSSA started turning her attention to Clark's fans, labeling them as racist, a claim that sent shockwaves through the league and the media. Here was a player, supposedly a role model, who took a single rivalry and escalated it by accusing thousands of fans of having a hateful agenda. ALYSSA's accusations painted Caitlin's fan base with one broad, ugly stroke, but ironically, while ALYSSA accused others of bullying, she was the one pushing Caitlin around, both verbally and physically.
It's killing you that a straight white woman has come into the League of Angry Lesbians and dominated everything.
That's when Jonquel Jones decided enough was enough. Known for her calm professionalism and as a finals MVP, Jonquel wasn't about to let ALYSSA's vendetta against Caitlin go unchecked.
You know, their life is in danger, or that someone wants to harm them because of the color of their skin, or harm them in general. So it's crazy that they had to deal with that.
Jonquel's response wasn't just a defense of a teammate, it was a rallying cry against the unnecessary drama overshadowing women's basketball. With her voice carrying the weight of a true champion, she called out ALYSSA's hypocrisy, making it clear that the WNBA has no room for this kind of behavior.
Caitlin Clark, what she's doing doesn't minimize what they've done, but we should have been giving her the credit. We saw the ratings, we saw the merchandise sales, we saw the attendance, but y'all want to make it about something else. Oh, what about the women that laid the foundation? What about this? What about it? That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is box office. She's doing this.
Jonquel Jones didn't just respond to Alyssa Thomas's attacks. She exposed the deeper hypocrisy in Alyssa's behavior. As a champion and finals MVP, Jonquel has earned respect across the league. So when she spoke up, people listened.
Caitlin Clark is becoming the best player in the entire WNBA, not because she's white, because she's that good. She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league, despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good. She's apolitically good.
She highlighted how Alyssa's actions toward Caitlin Clark were not isolated, but rather part of a troubling pattern. Alyssa had turned a competitive rivalry into something much darker, showing hostility not only toward Caitlin, but also toward her fans, all while expecting her own actions to
I think Caitlin Clark is doing the right thing, rising above all of the crap that she's had to endure. The amount of fouls committed on Caitlin Clark higher than any other player, flagrant fouls committed on Caitlin Clark higher than any other player. Caitlin Clark was worried about playing the game, and that is why she got Rookie of the Year. She was not worried about the BS.
go unquestioned. Alyssa's accusations against Clark's fanbase reached a breaking point when she labeled them as racist, a bold and damaging claim that could have a serious impact on Caitlin's reputation and career. Jonquel, however, was quick to challenge this narrative. She pointed out that Alyssa was misrepresenting Caitlin's fans and painting them all as villains just to justify her own antagonism.
Listen, if people want to portray and paint the narrative that there are racial tensions in the WNBA as a result of Caitlin Clark, I would say that's their own problem.
This wasn't just about Alyssa versus Caitlin. It was about protecting the integrity of the game and pushing back against Alyssa's attempt to manipulate the public with unfounded accusations.
So here comes the female GOAT, and these women are going from having 3,000 people in their arenas to 20,000.
Jonquel called out Alyssa for projecting her own behavior onto others, showing that it was Alyssa, not Caitlin's fans, who had crossed the line. In defending Caitlin, Jonquel wasn't just confronting Alyssa. She was making a powerful statement to the WNBA and its fans.
One thing Caitlin Clark does maybe better than anybody in sports right now makes it about others, makes it about team. Think about it. When's the last time you didn't see Caitlin Clark talking about a teammate? When's the last time you saw Caitlin Clark talking about herself or any of the accomplishments that she has had? Let me give you the answer to that. Never! Never! You never hear that. Now, that's why their team has gotten good. She could have been an egomaniac. Everybody in the league knows that she is the league.
She urged the league to step up and address the toxic narratives overshadowing the game, arguing that players should not be subjected to personal attacks under the guise of rivalry. With her bold stance, Jonquel challenged the WNBA to focus on uplifting the sport and keeping the competition fair. She made it clear that Alyssa's toxic behavior was tarnishing not only Caitlin's experience, but also the larger message that the league is trying to send to young fans and future players. Jonquel's response was more than just words, it was a call to action.
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star.
Watch her play. She plays at a high level, highly skilled. She's the best passer in America, and she's the best shooter in America.
By refusing to let Alyssa's accusations go unchecked, Jonquel reminded everyone that sports should be about skill, teamwork, and respect, not personal grudges. She stood up not only for Caitlin, but also for the values that make the WNBA great, demanding that the league take a stand against this kind of divisive behavior.
What is she doing wrong? What more do you want from Caitlin Clark? Seriously, what more do you want from her?
It's killing you that a straight white woman has come into the League of Angry Lesbians and dominated everything.
In her stand against Alyssa Thomas, Jonquel Jones went further, addressing the broader problem of sensationalism that had surrounded Caitlin Clark and her fan base. She pointed to the way Alyssa and even parts of the media had twisted the story to create a drama-filled narrative that didn't reflect reality.
for whatever reason, they decide to get themselves involved, whether it is actually malintent or maybe they just want to get themselves in the headline. A lot of players got the spotlight this season because of Caitlin Clark, not to mention just overall, Caitlin Clark brought millions, literally, more eyeballs to the league this season.
Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has done. Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years.
The accusations Alyssa made weren't just about Caitlin. They fed into a cycle of negativity that painted the league in a damaging light. Jonquel emphasized that the WNBA shouldn't be reduced to personal attacks and sensational stories.
Caitlin Clark was the solution for so many things, but so many players, coaches are also painting her out to be the problem. There was all of this just nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides.
Especially when there are so many positive aspects and talented players who deserve the spotlight. Jonquel's stance was clear. The league needs to move beyond this kind of divisive energy. She highlighted that the drama Alyssa stirred up was not only unfair to Caitlin and her fans, but also harmful to the WNBA's image.
One of the more interesting aspects of this fanhood is that some of the biggest supporters of Caitlin Clark are not whites. They're actually black males.
That idiot Angel Reese is trying so hard to latch on to Caitlin Clark by being the heel and then crying about it. You all did this. You all called her a white bitch constantly. You all did this.
The media's eagerness to latch onto Alyssa's claims and amplify them fed into a narrative that painted Caitlin's fan base as problematic, ignoring the excitement and genuine support her talent brings to the sport. For Jonquel, the focus should be on celebrating the athletes and their contributions to the game, not stirring up false controversies that alienate fans.
Nobody disputes that she's an amazing basketball player, but still they seem resentful and angry toward her. And it's resulted in physical alterations on the court that don't get called as fouls, that the girls then deny were intentional. And Caitlin Clark always takes the high road. She never, points the finger, but it happened again.
Jonquel didn't just stop at criticizing Alyssa, she also put the media on notice. She called out the headlines and coverage that sensationalized Alyssa's accusations while ignoring Caitlin's impact and the rise in fan engagement she has brought to women's basketball. This willingness to speak out wasn't just for Caitlin's sake, it was about preserving the integrity of the league and redirecting the focus to the incredible athletes who work hard every day. By calling out the media's role in perpetuating this drama, Jonquel challenged them to shift their focus from sensationalism to the true spirit of competition and talent in the WNBA.
What a bunch of spoiled, jealous brats. All I want to hear from them is thank you. It's my pretty privilege. Just shut up. Like either that's important to you have that vanity, or you don't, but stop bitching about it.
Through her bold statements, Jonquel sent a clear message. It's time for the WNBA to protect its players from harmful narratives and for the media to prioritize stories that uplift the sport rather than divide it. She reminded everyone that Caitlin Clark's influence on the game is overwhelmingly positive.
And she is transforming the sport into something mainstream, which is what the WNBA was set out to do. They have never had a mainstream start.
So here comes the female GOAT, and these women are going from having 3,000 people in their arenas to 20,000.
Drawing fans who are excited to watch great basketball. In one powerful stand, Jonquel demanded a change in how the league and the media handle conflicts and stories, making it clear that women's basketball deserves better than petty rivalries and exaggerated controversies. Jonquel Jones didn't just silence Alyssa Thomas, she flipped the entire narrative. By standing up for Caitlin Clark, Jonquel not only defended a teammate, but also exposed the real issue, a need for respect, fairness, and unity in the WNBA. Her words resonated far beyond a single rivalry, challenging the league to stop giving a platform to petty conflicts and start protecting the athletes who elevate the game. Alyssa may have tried to play the villain, but Jonquel's fearless response showed fans what true leadership looks like. This isn't just the end of a feud, it's a turning point. The message is clear. The WNBA needs to focus on talent, integrity, and building a league where players can compete without being dragged down by unnecessary drama. Caitlin Clark and Jonquel Jones represent the future of women's basketball, a future that's about skill, not grudges. And with champions like Jonquel stepping up, that future looks brighter than ever. Let's see what's next for these powerful athletes and the league as they redefine what it means to play with passion and respect. If you're ready to dive into the latest and greatest moments in women's basketball, you're in the right place. Here on WNBA Original, we cover everything from breaking news to inspiring stories, bringing you closer to the action and the players who make it all happen. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, so you'll always be the first to know what's happening on and off the court. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more from WNBA Original.